Hey, what's up guys? If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below. I want to be talking today about instant gratification, long-term thinking, because I think right now we're in a huge mess. And that problem is everybody's looking for that instant fix, just like a heroin addict. Just look around you. Everybody's on their phone looking for that next tweet or that next Facebook message or email. In fact, they did a study not too long ago looking at Blackberries, and they saw that the person that saw the flashing blue dot, they had the same release of dopamine as if an individual who was doing cocaine. So just keep that in mind. And look at, let's just look at a couple examples in life. Let's look at the entrepreneurial space. A lot of people are entering this space, putting in like 6 months of your time and looking for that, big home run. They're looking for that 10 million, $100 million exit. Gary Vee talks about this. Like, are you kidding me? Give me a break. You think just you putting in 6 months and that's it and you give up? Keep this in mind. The norm in the entrepreneurial space, this is the normal people. The norm is a male in his mid-40s who has gone through bankruptcy twice, that runs a business between 1 million to 10 million. That's the norm of an entrepreneur globally. Just keep that in mind. That's the norm. The people that you see in Silicon Valley, those aren't even outliers. They're the outliers of the outliers. They're the 0.1% of the 1%ers, okay? Let's look at people who want to get back into shape. They go on a diet, New Year's resolution, as right now, month of January. New Year's resolution, let's do a crash course diet, let's go to the gym, etc. March comes around and they give up. They're like, oh, it's not working, 90 days, and like, that's it. Let's look at relationships, people, they date or whatever they do, and relationships are tough. I've been in a relationship 6 years right now. It's ups and downs, smiles and frowns. And yeah, it's a roller coaster. And anybody who's been in a long-term relationship, they'll tell you that. There's not just all hugs and kisses. No, it's two human beings living together and two human beings' spirits and emotions coming together on a daily basis. So it's very difficult. And for you to think, oh, just because you get in one fight to break up the relationship, is that really wise? It's applicable to everything in life. Whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, whether it's building wealth, whether it's building a better body, whether it's building friends, that's a big one right now. There's a lot of people looking for these quick friends, and you see all these networking events. They go around, you look over your shoulder, and that's a person to fucking stay away from if you look over your shoulder trying to find the next hunt. Friendship is built through experiences together, through crying together, through sharing amazing experiences that you guys have gone together. And this is why, people in the military or people who've gone through actually both horrific and amazing experience, they create deeper bonds. And I highly recommend, if you want to create deeper bonds with your friends, go through amazing experiences together. But going back to the instant gratification thing, if I had to rewind my life, one of the first things, or one of the major things I would change in my life, was thinking long term and kind of eliminating the instant gratification. Because I think the underlying root problem of instant gratification is the fact that the fear of actually putting in the work. And see, a lot of times people make a cop out of like it's too hard, and I don't think so. It's too hard. I don't think so. That's a problem. A lot of people make the cop out on the fact that they know it's going to take a very long time to accomplish that. And us humans, we're lazy motherfuckers, and we don't like to put in the time for very long durations. So, if I had to rewind my life, I did many things. From club business, promotion business, construction business, electrical business, all these other crazy businesses. I had like 10 fingers and 10 different pots, but none of them was super long term, because I knew subconsciously that I had to put X amount of time, and that's no fun. That's not rock and roll lifestyle, and this applies to anything in life. We get bored very easily. But if we're looking at a problem, there's always a root cause to a problem. So the problem right now is the instant gratification. It's like we want everything right now, this second. But why is that problem there? And for the most part, it has to deal with you as an individual, as a spiritual being. And the underlying problem for the most part is you don't want to commit for long term. You feel trapped. And a lot of times you feel lost because you don't have the blueprint or the roadmap to actually go from A to B. And the great thing about you actually coming to terms with the underlying issues that you have is you can actually now create a plan. Ray Dalio, and I mentioned this in my last video in Principles Part 2, he talks about having this system which he runs Bridgewater. And the system is quite simple. It's like, listen, you have this objective or you have this plan, and this plan is like, let's make an example right now. The example is we want to build a business. So our plan is we want to build this business and we want to have 1,000 customers. So that's our painted picture, as Cameron Harold talks about. So we had this painted picture and we want to have 1,000 customers, etc. How are we going to get there? So we make the roadmap. Okay, so we're gonna need X amount of employees, we need this much capital. Okay, great. Now, how are we gonna execute that? How does that look? So at the end, you're left with this blueprint. But the most beautiful thing about this blueprint is you're actually overseeing the blueprint. It's you viewing down on the blueprint, and it creates a negative feedback system. And this can be applied to anything. I mean, anything in life. When you look at like instant gratification, ask yourself, like, for example, why do you want to have a body right away? Like, why are you afraid to continue eating a certain way and training a certain way for the rest of your life, as opposed to having these crash courses? Why is it that you have to make a New Year's resolution? Like, what is the underlying issue? Like, why can't you stick on a sustainable diet that works for you? You know, just for you. Why can't you stick to a sustainable workout regime that works just for you? So you have to figure out these underlying issues. Same thing going through relationships. Like, let's say you notice a pattern where, like, all right, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and you notice that majority of the time it's you breaking up. Well, what's the underlying issue there? Can you identify maybe one or two things that you can figure out why you keep on leaving these people? And great exercise for this is what Viktor Frankl talks about, what he calls a logotherapy, or in modern terms, you can call it just journaling. And I think journaling, and you don't have to have any model for journaling. You can just start journaling down your ideas, what comes out of your head, or we call it a mind dump. You know, for example, just write down, like, I broke up with this person, that person, and just mind dump your thoughts on the paper and see what comes out from this. But yeah, I think you know, if we're viewing society right now, where it's heading with this whole instant gratification, me, we're in big trouble. You can just see right now with the social justice warriors, or as Tim Ferriss calls them, bigoteers, which I like much better. And from now on in, I will be calling them bigoteers. So if we look at these bigoteers right now, they are all looking for instant gratification. They're all narcissists. They're like, me. And obviously they have a lot of mommy issues, daddy issues, self-identification issues with themselves, and they don't love themselves. And they're trying to point fingers at other people. There's a Greek saying, for every finger you point at somebody, 3 are pointing back at you. But they're looking for that instant fix. Like, I want it now, I want this now, I want you to call me this, or I want you to do that. And they're screaming like a little baby or a little kid, I want all this. And that leads to a lot of issues in society. That leads to in groups, where you have one group here and one group there fighting each other. And this applies to everything. As soon as anybody is looking for an instant high, instant fix, you are going to be creating psychological, mental issues in those human beings. And I think the best place to start to fix this is honestly starting with you actually as an individual. You know, focus on one thing in your life, because you can't just transform your life. You know, for me, I'm born naturally as an instant gratification individual. So for me to kind of break my cycles, I focus on one thing at a time, you know, especially for business, focusing on that. Like, how can I create a sustainable business? How can I create something that I love, that I can sustain myself for years on in? And how can I create other businesses the same way like that, where it's long-term thinking, focusing on maybe one or two things, and just keeping my attention and keeping me motivated during that. Yeah, but to summarize the whole thing with instant gratification, it's a motherfucker. And hopefully you can identify a couple of habits in your life that you have for instant gratification, and slowly and surely start working on that. All right, guys, there you have it. Leave a comment below this video. Peace.